Hi everyone, Sarah Venza here. I just wanted to, after a while now, I think it's a good idea to go ahead and have a, commentary on my Xbox Fable 90% run, because, I think it's kind of long overdue, where I can actually pause and, go into the, like, nitty-gritties of what I'm trying to do and why and all that good stuff, so let's just jump into it. So, obviously the game is played in French because it's 34 seconds faster than in English. I have the game installed on my Xbox hard drive because that's consistent, and it evens out the playing field by a whole lot.
Eh bien, va donc trouver ta sœur, tu veux bien? Elle est partie jouer près de la porte des Barrowfields, et tu ne lui as pas encore offert de cadeau.
Obviously, I had a little bit of a no skip glitch in the beginning, which is okay because it doesn't affect the run at all. I think in this run I kind of tried to do directed rolls as much as I could, where I'm not like flicking my right analog stick, where I used to do a lot in the past. I still kind of do, but it's not super common these days. So here, you see there, I actually waited for a little bit before that fourth punch until I repositioned myself a little bit to the left, and you can maybe see why I did that, because basically, as I've said in my guides, he can take a long time to run off the camera out of the frame or far enough away if you have him, like, if this camera angle is where the bully is, like, in, then he can, yeah, it takes longer for the dialogue with this kid here to actually trigger, and then you actually get the teddy bear. So the fastest way to handle it is just to have him literally just bump into you. That also triggers it. And so, like, pinning him up against a wall like that is just the most consistent way I found. Saves about a second, but, it adds up. I apologize for the amount of times I'm going to be sniffling and clearing my throat. Excuse me, I just came in from outside walking my dog, and it's cold. So that's why my nose is sniffly. And as far as clearing my throat, well, that's just a thing that I do all the time anyway, so... Sorry. Can't remember if I actually avoided the guards here. I did. Okay. I know this wasn't a sub 2 childhood, which is, like, surprising. Okay, so, I do want to go ahead and say, I mash B there, and then I start mashing A in order to, start the, what do you call it? Give her the chocolates, because the dialogue, the yes-no dialogues appear, like, much faster in OG than they do in Lost Chapters and Anniversary. So that's, like, actually viable. You don't have to hand her the chocolates directly after telling her no the first time. And then I like to, leftover from the olden days, that was barely not a sub 2, actually. That's... Anyway. Yeah, you can trigger that cutscene with, Braum there being dead if you, a little bit faster if you roll on the left part of that hill. And then, I know I talk about this a fair bit every now and then, but me punching Whisper here is part of my movement because it like gets me just past the railing of the stairs. My movement's not perfect, and I don't think it ever will be, but it's I will say it's pretty decent. I like to think. I just did that for the hell of it. Okay, so you maybe saw that I kind of buffered some rolls after skipping that cutscene and, you know, getting the quest start prompt. So I was a little bit ahead and closer to the Guildwoods entrance. And then there is the first quick fade of the run. So, what quick fading basically is it's just pausing the game really quick and then unpausing it to ideally have the fades that precede the actual map screen where the game's actually loading the map. It makes those fades faster because otherwise they're basically random. And it's absurd how much time they actually eat. Oh. That is like easily the dumbest time save I've ever found in this run. So, I actually smartly didn't try to roll all the way like out of the dormitory there. I actually waited until I was like just past the point on the stairs there where you actually can like kind of get stuck right there. Once you're like past there, it's pretty much okay because you can just get stuck there and it's really silly.
Laissez votre bateau.
That's true for a PC version. And you're playing with the keyboard anyway. And then that was just an acceptable Whisper fight, really. It's not really too much to talk about there. Just got decently lucky. Although, something I guess I should mention is that instead of like rolling back to catch her and combo her in the back like that, like I'm sure like it would kind of be like gut instinct for most people. Most arbitrary percentage, but instead of doing that, I just walked while maintaining my hard target. And then here I basically just soft target the one, and then as soon as you shoot each of those dummies, they become I think they become completely untargetable. But like, because of that, like the soft target like automatically switches as soon as you like quote take out end quote the first one. And so I basically just need to turn a little bit to the right and then pull out my bow and shoot. And here I just, again, pull out my bow and shoot.
Nous verrons ensuite la voie de... Vous... Les actes d'agression, les mesures seront prises. Dernière avertissement. Mais que croyez-vous faire? Très bien.
Yeah. That wasn't as clean as I usually get it, but that was, like, yeah. It worked, I guess. Let's see, I think I'm now 2 for 3 on quick fades, because I mistimed the second one, as in it didn't even, like, happen. Ooh, right, this happened. Oh, I should have held that first shot back a little bit longer, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm not sure if it actually makes any, like, tangible difference or not, but what I like to try to do when I'm in the bow phase of the final exam is to close distance, even though, like, in the cutscene he's like, try not to get too close. And yeah, it's like, whether or not it's a tangible difference, that is still a distance that the arrows have to travel, and it takes time for them to get there. Yeah. So. And then, of course, the rhythmic use of lightning. That we all know and love. Some of the time. Actually, did I pull off a quick fade on this one? That looked like a quick fade, yeah. It was moderately fast. Oop, okay. So yeah, I'm basically just mashing Y the entire time in here, while also holding the left stick forward. And then that was like a very simple thing of like, input, down, yeah. Okay, spacebar, you're supposed to work here. I expect you to pause. Okay, so down, it depends on like how I'm feeling, because sometimes I'll do it all with the D-pad, but other times I will also use the A and B buttons. But it's like down, confirm, 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 and then hitting the back button to completely back out of the menu. Ooh, best split. Okay, yeah, and then I also, like, at the tail end of the autosave, I buffer an A input, because I know I'm looking at the map table. So as soon as, like, the autosave finishes, the map table, or, like, the quest screen, this automatically comes up. Ooh, that was lucky. And for once, it actually didn't throw me off, it looks like. Actually startling that guy kind of has this history of coming back to bite me really rapidly. That was a failed quick fade, but it wasn't a buffered menu. That's the thing. That's the biggest thing. So, because the targeting system is ever so slightly different in OG than it is in TLC, you can't just use the hard target and wiggling the right stick around while you're using lightning strategy that you could do in Lost Chapters to, like, dispatch the wasps really quickly. It might not be that the targeting is different. It is slightly different, but it is also, like, lightning behaves a little bit differently, I think. That might be part of it as well. I don't know, game's weird. A very clean Wasp Queen fight. I did take a slight time loss to grab that will potion, but I figured it would be worth it because they are... I do tend to run out in Trader Escort. Because, like, you only have the ones you have from the guild, which lasts you basically until you get to maybe Powerstone South. And then, the what? 9 the Powerstone South Trader sells to last you all the way through Trader Escort. So it is a little bit rough on will potions in the beginning. Quick fade, nice. I took a little bit of a gamble, and yeah, I'd like keep the camera facing towards the tavern. I just interacted with the trader blindly while he's off camera like that. So that was a little bit of a gamble, because it could have been like a villager there or something. But this is, yeah, it was 9. This is just like another like series of inputs that I've just gotten into like my muscle memory. Yeah, so you need to actually sell both of your weapons here in order to, like, I think afford that thing. But it's okay because, you know, when are you going to be using your melee weapon until, you know, you get Aeons in this run after Wasp Queen? The usual take quest and boast. Saves like a couple of seconds. Ish. Oh, and in case I've never, like, actually, like, I feel like I have explained it before, but the way I actually try to pull off these quick fades, by the way, is I hit the start button, because that's the laggier menu. Which sounds a little bit backwards, but I just do that because it's, like, it just feels more favorable. I feel like it gives better chances for quick fades than the back button does, because of the fact that it's laggier. But, I'm basically just furiously mashing B and Y. So I can continue rolling and also exit the menu. It's silly, but it works. I was trying to pull another Assassin Rush out before I used a will potion. You know, I never really thought about it before, but my right thumb is busy in these runs. Because yeah, you can now you're starting to see like the camera flicks that I have a tendency to do. this quest is just rough. It doesn't really matter like who you are, how much experience you have. This quest in general in this run is just rough. Okay, yeah, so I'm a fully charged shot from an oak longbow at 0 accuracy is obviously not enough to one-shot the melee bandits because they have 200 health. So I just let the arrow go and then use lightning really quick. And then if I pull it back long enough, then they'll die. And then I do you can one-shot the archers with just an arrow. So it deals at least 150 damage, or close enough to 150. Because the game is silly and it'll actually, like, round up a little bit. Or just be like, okay, that's close enough. This counts as a kill. This was that was a very precarious position to be in. Especially with that guard behind me, with his crossbow out. Actually kind of lucky that that didn't kill the run. Oh, yeah, okay, so, there is something else I kind of did want to mention here. After these bandits have died, so yeah, it was a bit of a rough start, but, I try to do more damage to these guys with lightning, unlike I would do in, like, TLC, because, you know, you don't have the ebony longbows, so you can't as easily one-shot them. So it's better to just go ahead and, like, kind of chip away at them. And then you also see me, like, fire off, like, a couple of, like, 86 shots or something. And then, yeah. The other thing I wanted to mention was the way I was keeping myself, like... You see, like, after I zap them, I kind of, like, stand still for a second. That's because if I'm moving, the hard target, like, borks. It's not like that in Xbox DLC, but it just, like, yeah, it gets a little bit screwed up after using lightning once for 1 tick of lightning damage, anyway. Alright, so another thing is that after I've gotten the flourish off there, I am going to be mashing the black button so I can unsheath my bow. Or the right bumper, as I play with such a controller.
Votre nouveau rang est anodin. Choisissez vos quêtes à la guilde. Votre volonté est faible, attention.
Oh yeah, you probably heard that one assassin rush, like, onto the stairs got cut short a little bit. So I was just like, yeah, that's not a lucky day. We're just gonna go ahead and roll up these stairs. Stairs are like that. It's a lottery. Now, I can't remember if I, no, if this is OG, I just do a simple hard target with the left trigger and zap him really quick and then go on about my business. I do love that about controller runs. It's a simple, it's a hold toggle, it's not a, yeah. Oh god. That arrow almost hit me. That could have been bad. That's pretty common though. Like, yeah, it's really common to have enemies there, like spellcaster hobs or bandits with their crossbows out. So yeah, because I had at least an 11 multiplier in Orchard Farm, or at the end of it, I was able to get an optimal upgrade route there. Physique 2, Speed 2, Summon, I believe, Berserk, and Magic Power 1. Also Assassin Rush 2. Yeah. I didn't go for Boko Strat in this run. I'm not sure if this predated that, or if I just, like, no, because it takes a little bit more time. So, yeah. Boko's setup, though? Chef's guess. Absolutely recommended for a newer runner. Not so great luck with, well, nah, it was okay, I guess. The fact that the Wasp actually played ball there was, refreshing. Oh, okay. So, profile seeding shenanigans. So, I have no hard, concrete evidence to really support this. It's just kind of a confirmation bias with this profile. But, I let the infected trader follow me, and then I kill everybody but him. I kill the other two traders, the original two, and then bring him to Barrowfields because he takes the shortest amount of time out of all the traders for this profile. But it can be like, yeah. I think in my, gosh, I think in my emulator runs profile, it's like not the same. So it's only weird if it doesn't work. That was an attempt at a quick fade. It didn't really pan out too well. Yeah, that's about when I usually go Berserk. That was a very normal fade. I wish I still had the image that I used in my OG guide to show where the trader needs to be, but it's basically right about there. Yeah. Sometimes I think he's close enough to where he needs to be, sometimes he's not. Or, yeah, I think he's close enough to where he needs to be. Sometimes he is, sometimes he's not. The fact that I actually save time on Trader Escort is wild. That's not a split I usually save time on. This is enough. I love OG Annie Presents menus because they're just so straightforward. There's no like buy selling nonsense. It's just buy. Sell what you need to get rid of, buy what you need, go. It's a breath of fresh air, honestly. Ah, okay. So there, obviously I I rolled into the boat, and then I hard targeted so that I would still be facing forward. This is like some OT type of Z targeting, or like side hopping or whatever. The Fable equivalent of side hopping. So I'd still be facing forward. Oh, did I? I did fail. I did flub this first clip. Yeah, that setup was not right. So, let's see. Let's dissect what was wrong with my angle here. All right, so I wasn't exactly facing the like I wasn't centered on this post. I was facing more towards the gate. I could probably have made this work still, but at the angle that I was trying to go for, it just was never going to work. So I had to realign myself and try again. That's a whole lot better, obviously, because I got the clip. This map is pretty fun for movement, honestly. Okay, so this is a Noctiverse strategy, I think. What I did there was I summoned my summon a little bit earlier. Also, I rushed into the Cullis Gate, which means that I have no HUD, which is actually a little bit... This is a beneficial thing. The fact that I have no HUD is just like, okay, whatever. But the fact that I rushed into the Cullis Gate and I triggered a screen transition is... it's going to let me like actually move during the what should be a fade-in, but because there's no HUD, the fade-in just doesn't exactly work as it should. But, yeah, I summoned my Hob early. Right about there-ish. And that is so that the timer will run out by the time I get to the Elite's Camp Gate. So I can work with a fresher summon. And then here, well, I tried. I tried, but it didn't work out the way it should have. Unfortunate. But ideally, after having picked up the quest, you can just back out of the menu and hold down, and it's like halfway charged. Because, like, the game is just like... takes a little while to like render in. But it's essentially, it's like a half seal buffer. It's weird. But again, it works. Oh, chef kiss. That was just... I'm sorry, that was just beautiful. That was like purely directed rush. So like in my clips guide, I make a point to like say to turn and face your summon. You kind of don't necessarily need to do that when you have the ability to direct your rushes. Just so long as, you know, your rush is going in the proper direction. But like in a TLC context without multiple input methods, you would ideally benefit from turning toward your summon physically. But yeah, that's just like lots of practice. That's just a demonstration of like all the practice and stuff. And then I tried, I was not positioned right. I tried to get a cheeky quick fade in here because you can't actually do that. You can pause while so like you can see I've got spell mode there. There's the pause, and I'm mashing B the entire time. So I do get the rush off, but I didn't rush into the load zone, unfortunately. I think I pull this off in the Twin Blades 10 clip, though. You're in the Elites camp. Oh, no, I didn't even go for it. Wow. I was like, nope, okay. We're just gonna go without it. So the way I handle Twin Blade, really the biggest thing is to make sure you just don't use Berserk before his health bar appears. You want to ideally wait a little bit until a little bit after it's appeared. But I have a whole like script that I do in my head for this whole fight. So it's like I rush behind him, hit him, his health bar appears, he goes to swing at me, I rush and hit him again. I draw him towards the center, and that's for two reasons. That's to eat through the timer, for one, and for two, it's also a safety measure because I'm going to be Berserk boosting. You can already tell right here I've Berserk boosted. So I am at critical health. So I don't want the Bandit Circle to be able to actually come in and get within melee range and kill me and kill my run. Because I have no res files, if I can help it. So like I am right in the middle of that circle, so I'm pretty much completely safe. Thank you for the hydrate, TPH. Also, proper seal buffer. And the way that you can do seal buffers, and yeah, basically right about like anytime like after the halfway point of the autosave, you can start holding down on your D-pad, and then you'll just instantly charge a guild seal in OG anyway. Really handy. Assuming you are not in the middle of an animation, like as far as I can tell, turning around isn't a locking animation, but if you didn't put your weapon away, and I'll talk about this when I get to arena, but if you're constantly unsheathing your weapon after like cutscenes and stuff, and then you try to do a seal buffer, like out of a cutscene, and you are going to just brandish your weapon again, yeah, it won't do the seal buffer, and it'll make you sad. Okay, so, I completely didn't even go over this, but I skipped the guild trader here entirely. And that's still a, well, it's not exactly new at this point anymore. It's probably like 2 years old by now, but yeah. I do that to save on gold, so I have enough gold to be able to One, pay a fine later. Two, in order to afford another silver augmentation and an ebony longbow in the arena to make the white Balverine so much easier. I'm not sure why I put my sword away there. I think it may have been because I find it kind of easier. I've been struggling with the Witchwood Stones clip, actually, so that might be why I sheathed it. So I could, like, get a better visual lineup for myself. And even that, like, you can see I didn't even exactly do it as fast as I could have. Even under those circumstances. I also, like, preemptively rolled in that direction towards the exit. Tried and failed to do a quick fade. That's, like, slightly faster. Funny thing is, I was probably saying exactly the things that I'm saying, like, every time I try to do a quick fade as I was doing the run, even though I wasn't recording my microphone. Yeah, there's not really too much to talk about as far as movement goes. It's just, like, more of a showcase of how practiced I am at this, I guess. I'm gonna run out of Berserk as soon as I get out of this, yeah. Okay, now, did I set myself up for Seal Buffer in this run, or did I did not. Okay, I think I figured that because it was, like, kind of negligible, because you need to go and do the upgrades anyway. But I guess it would still technically be, like, a couple of seconds faster. Second and a half, however long it takes to charge the guild seal. As opposed to going back to the map table. I guess it also depends on, like, how you stepped onto the experience platform too, because if you, like, roll past it, that's detrimental. Because odds are you'll just pull open the menu again as soon as you start to walk back towards the map table. But this, if I did it right, is kind of, like, there's a fair bit going on. So, like, first I dispatched that, I delayed the Berserk, actually, till I was, like, one roll away, basically, out of melee range. As soon as I pull off the Berserk multi-strike hit, I turn around and then I hard target. I roll and then hard target, so I'm away from where the next Balverine spawns in from. And then I do some more camera control here. Trying to keep my multi-strike ready. Yeah. There's a fair bit going on there. Like, it looks easy, but it's really not. Oh, okay, maybe it looks easy to me. Maybe I'm making it look easy for myself. But it's really not easy. Going at it as fast as I was going at it. I think there I was just trying to get a little bit more will experience. Since I still had like a smidgen of a combat multiplier. That's why I wasted the mana on Berserk there. And then on the, yeah, for the last few hits, I just hit him with the multi-strike and, yeah. Didn't really benefit with combat multiplier at all. Because multi-strike doesn't do that until TLC. I should actually make a video on multi-strike. And how it's different between OG and TLC. Do another short. But that's for another time. So, I think I delayed my going into Berserk just a little bit. Just to give myself a little bit more leeway. As far as, like, time to actually wail on the White Balverine here. But for Phase 1, I'm just utilizing Berserk multi-strikes, and now from here I'm just going to start comboing him with regular hits. You're seeing the benefit of Physical Shield 2, because I did buy that, really coming into play here. Ooh, Pirouette Flourish, let's go, I guess. Oh, yeah, cheeky thing I'm doing. Cheeky thing. This took me a while to, like, kind of figure out, like, how to get my hands to do what I wanted. But, I start actually, I'm sucking experience orbs, right? But, what I want to do is I actually want to start charging the guild seal and then continue holding, like, then, like, press and hold the right trigger to suck experience orbs as I am going, you know, doing the guild seal charge to go back to Knothole Glade. It took me a while to figure out how to do that with my hands. But now that I have, it's just like, oh, okay, easy. And then, yeah, some competitive murder in a video game. Because it's a speedrun, it's not casual. Because, the guards will instantly kick you out, even if you pay the fine for murder. I feel like there's another crime that will happen for, but, murder is just, like, the absolute most unforgivable. Nah, mate, you're getting kicked out. So, that whole menu comprised, I think, of... what, actually? Accuracy 1. That actually does play a little bit of a role. It genuinely makes a tangible difference in how long you need to hold the bow for the White Balverines in Arena. It makes a genuine difference. And, like, you're not always able to afford it. So it's just, like, get it if you can. It does help. And that dialogue box came up really quick.
Bienvenue au hall des héros.
Je crois que nous pouvons faire un effort pour vous, monsieur.
It's a good thing I have it on full screen, I guess. Because, yeah, for VOD reference, chat just reading points to make me take my glasses off for 5 minutes. So we're just gonna go ahead and, another fairly straightforward menu, mostly muscle memory. In my case, but, yeah. Okay, this is big. This is big. So I'm binding the will potions because that genuinely helps. Like, because there's going to be times where you are, like, wanting to be in spell mode, but you still want access to your potions, right? So let's make sure we have access to our potions at all times in the arena. You know, it's kind of important. I am also setting my, I'm glad that I showed that I did the lamp in this one, unironically, because that's, I'm gonna talk about that when it's, like, actually relevant, but, yeah, I'm binding, the fishing rod and spade primarily to, the D-pad. And I'll explain why, later on. Because right now it's not entirely relevant. And then pushing L. This is rough on the thumb. Like, even with a pretty comfortable, mostly controller analog stick. Because you need to have that stick clicked down and tilting it in order to stealth walk in this game, and it is not comfortable. And also, like, stealth walking him from the door to that pillar is, like, or, you know, the cot or whatever, is hard enough as it is. Not so lucky on cleaves with that particular round of wasps, but, or wave. I always mix those two words up when I'm trying to provide commentary on that. I've got a pretty good rhythm going with my force pushes. I say that, and then I immediately break the rhythm. I fall out of rhythm or whatever. So, funny thing, I was actually, because I don't have anything on the A button in that tier of magic, it's just force push, I can actually safely mash the X and A buttons to both spam force push, or kind of, I wasn't really mashing because I do time my force pushes to be, you know, used rhythmically, genuinely, because rhythm game, that's what Fable is. They didn't tell you that, but it is. But yeah, I can safely tap A along with X in order to quickly say, yes, proceed to the next round. And then I also berserk here. And this is part of setting up the berserk timer, which I think is at level 1 is 15 seconds? 15 or 12, I want to say. But I'm also doing, I don't talk enough about this in the arena, but you can basically control where the next wave will spawn in from, because it's determined on where your character is. So if you have your, you know, if you have the hero kind of like next to the entrance gate, they will like spawn all along the like pretty much outer bits of the opposite gate. And so if you do that, you can also, you know, control where the bodies end up. So that's basically my goal there. It's to be efficient with combat multiplier. And also, like, just... That's not really a thing in this round, never mind. I was gonna say, like, funneling them all into, you know, forcing all the enemies to come to you, and, like... I think I might do this with Whisper later, but I keep her pinned. I definitely do it in, this round, at the very beginning, at least. But yeah. For the regular Balverines, it's still the same Berserk multi-strike as it was in the White Balverine quest. Wow. So I don't know if you just a tiny little observation I just made there, but I think yeah, that's exactly what happened. Okay, that stupid spacebar is not wanting to work for me for some reason. But yeah, I just found this a little bit funny, is all. Like I go to unsheath my bow, but the running out animation of Berserk canceled that animation, so it was just like already in my hand. I just found that funny. And like completely serendipitous. A very well timed bow input, I guess. I guess in a way it's worth mentioning. Oh, hold on. Another thing worth mentioning. I am actually holding the arrow back as while Berserk is running out, and that maintains. So as soon as I get a target on the first White Balverine, bam, it's dead. Because that's definitely been held back for long enough. I'm trying to cycle targets there. So that's why I was like facing that one Balverine that entire time. And then yeah, just dispatch the rest with Berserk multi-strikes. Wait until they actually start their howl before, you know, using Force Push on them. Because Balverines are weird like that. Yeah, I try to keep Whisper kind of pinned down at the beginning for as long as I can in this round of each wave. In each wave of this round. Jeez. Okay. Berserk boosting. Love to see it. So I took that one hit from the Blade Hazard because, yeah, that gives me just enough to one-shot the Undead Lieutenants because they have 1,000 health. But I think you only deal like 976 or something. It's not quite enough to one-shot them if you don't get that one Berserk boost. That or you can just Super Flourish them. Something I try to do, and you might notice it, okay, maybe not, but something I try to do in that round especially is to kind of move in between two undead and then like do a swing at one and then do a turnaround swing or whatever, hit the other one, and then go on to the rest. Apart from that one swing, that was a good wave. Good first wave. I don't think I Berserk boost here because I just let it happen naturally. Yeah, it just happened naturally and I didn't need to worry about it. And then, yeah, for the, I think yeah, you only need one because, like, these guys have between 1,100 and 1,500 health. The assassins have the 1,100 health. Eesh. Thanks, Whisper. So I didn't take 3 full hits there, but I did take at least 1, and that's enough to, you know, do the hundreds, the 1600 damage to the boss bandits there. Okay, I don't waste any time on, well, waste any time, quote unquote. It's more like, I didn't take too long, or I didn't delay, that's the word. I didn't delay going into Berserk. On the rock trolls though, I will. As soon as I hear the announcer say 1 is when I go Berserk. And then I take, you know, like 1 partial and then 2 full hits. And that usually lets me 1 cycle, 1 Berserk cycle, the rock trolls, but this was not one such occasion. So I just finished them with super flourishes. Also, go ahead and mash attacks as the rock trolls are dying, because in OG, that's a guaranteed animation skip. For some reason. I wish it were like that in TLC and Anniversary, but nope. Almost makes me wonder if the Ice Troll would be the same way, if it existed in OG. Okay, so I guess I do have something I can mention about a couple of things, probably, about the Arachnox fight. I do have that video on it still, but I feel like lately I've been finding he won't like instantly resubmerge unless you are too far away from him, or like not in his quote line of sight, end quote. And then this is less of a thing for TLC because you just have, or TLC and Anniversary, because you just have Inflame, but you actually do need to wait for the scorpions to like start their actual walking animations when they're spawning in, because they're invulnerable otherwise. Inflame, I believe, would still hit them and probably force push as well, but, like, yeah. They have 200 health, and you want to keep them, like, clumped together. Not that they actually really matter all that much, but still. Like, Arachnox's resurfacing time is completely independent of how long it takes you to dispatch the smaller scorpions. So, like, it really doesn't matter unless you're, like, I don't know, farming for combat multiplier still. Okay, there. So, yes, I put my weapon away there. Because in once I get to the Gray House and skip the cutscene with Teresa there, I'm going to be trying to go for a seal buffer so I could go back to the guild. Excuse me again. Sorry, I just ate dinner a little while ago, so yeah. But yeah, if you are, like I was saying earlier, I think, if you have, if you're in the middle of an animation, or you're like even at the very beginning of an animation, like unsheathing your weapon, for example, that is going to kill your seal buffer attempt. Also, thank you, Amanda, for the 28-month 3-sub. Holy shit. Wilding out here. Aw, I'm gifting a sub to Two Worlds as well. You're too kind. Yeah, so I like never max out physique in OG because Aeons is just fucking OP. But yeah, accuracy I do try to go for because it does help in 2 fights. Obviously, you can't max out either physical shield or berserk in this run because you are not good nor evil enough. But yeah. That's still so wild to me that I've gotten to a point where my combat multiplier is maintained so well, and I just naturally get enough experience that I don't need to spam summon in order to get all of those things that I just got. That's still wild to me. Let's see if I remembered to get... No, I probably did. I probably remembered. So yeah, I did buy potions here, and I did buy the Master Longbow. I don't remember when I equipped it. You can't do it in Bowerstone here. You can in Anniversary, but you can't do it in TLC or OG, and it's sad. Like, you can augment it, but you can't equip it. It's really silly. Okay, so I do equip it now. Also, I'm pretty sure I don't go for Barrier Clip because it's just like, I'm not gonna go for that. That just sounds a little silly when I'm on a, you know, PB pace. That and, like, again, Aeons is just OP. Yeah. I do say, though, like, there's a lot of movement optimizations that I've, like, learned how to, like, translate from Anniv and TLC into controller inputs, and that's just, like... I never imagined, like, clean movement, like, clean-ish movement at any rate was even remotely possible on OG without, like, task tools. Oh! Ooh! Hold on. Something I just remembered. I completely glossed over this. But, you can rush on this dock in OG, and I hate it. Because you can't do that in TLC or Anniversary. Ah. Also, that was Rishiki roll backwards. Ooh, and then a hard target. I'm not sure if the hard target part was necessary, but it was a good idea anyway. Because that at least guaranteed that my camera would be facing in the direction that I wanted it to be. Ooh, instant fade. So that's a good example, actually, and I want to talk about it a little bit. So the way you can discern the different types of fades, you have like the typical fade, the typical quick fades. There's just like, okay, it's like, okay, they're just notably quick. The other type, type of quick fade is this one, where you basically hit the button to go into the menu as like basically the same frame that you would do for Edit Mode v3. It's basically at that exact same frame, and then that triggers a slower fade out initially, but the one on the other side is instant. And then there's another type that's like a combination of those two. Well, no, it's a combination of possibly intended, maybe unintended mechanics. I'm gonna go ahead and say it's unintended because it was fixed in later releases. But whenever you rush into a load zone or you trigger a zone transition while in the middle of an assassin rush in OG, on the other side, you are allowed to move around during the fade-in out of the other side of the load screen. And then that is also what you can use. You mostly utilize that, I think, to trigger the frozen world glitch. Because if you go back into a load transition or a load zone while the game is still fading back in after another load screen, that's what does it. So it's when you do that, but also enter the menu on the same frame as Edit Mode v3. So you're getting the benefit of being able to move on the other end of the load screen, and that second part of the fade is instant. That's like the chef kiss quick fade. I'm sorry that was a really long explanation.
Hey, bonjour. Ah, c'est le vieux truc. Les morts animaux.
Okay, I do need to mention, like, just as an aside, this isn't TLC or, like, anniversary specifically by any means, but, okay, I did not need to do that. I was just like, I don't know. I was kind of in a zone or something. Ooh, I don't know. But I was like, cutscene coming up, I need to get ready for a quick fade. Oh, wait a minute, no I don't. But, also a nice screen tear right there. I love Fable. But yeah, I at some point in my escapades through Fable Anniversary speedrunning, I have kind of learned that it's best to just hold forward and walk into the shelf that has the helmet on it, so that you don't accidentally interact with the Gravekeeper prematurely, and you end up leaving the helmet on the shelf. So you have to go back to the hut and just waste all this time. Also, I get to talk about that other thing. So, I actually used it from the shortcut menu. So we'll see if it actually... Okay, so you see how the guild seal is flashing because I have enough experience to, you know, learn something or better something, increase my attribute or something. That, unfortunately, in OG will take priority over context-sensitive items, literally just digging and fishing. or your rod and your spade. And so that's really annoying. And that is literally the reason why I bind those two different buttons. Just in case this happens in the middle of a run. And then the lamp I will explain shortly. So, oh god, I feel like I've talked about this before, but fishing in OG requires a rhythm, and this is a big reason why I say that Fable is a rhythm game. There are many reasons, but this is one of the big ones. The game has this weird input gate. It, like, the amount of, like, it will recognize that you're pressing the buttons, absolutely, but when you're doing things like fishing, specifically, or mashing summon, for example, you get better APM in-game if you do it at a rhythm as opposed to mashing as fast as you can. It's like, yeah, it's weird. Fishing and spamming summon are like perfect examples. But you can only spam buttons so fast, so it's just kind of like you need to spam it at a rhythm. And I need to figure out what that rhythm is. Just because it's like, it's clearly a rhythm, and I think it's a shared rhythm, like a global rhythm. Obviously, PC TLC doesn't need to worry about this, but the OG Xbox versions absolutely do. Because fishing, obviously, with that particular aspect of it, that's going to make it kind of longer than it already tends to be. Because if you're not, you know, as efficiently timing your button presses, you're not getting as many in-game reels. So, yeah. The lamp! So, I believe it was Wintilda who figured out, or did some digging, and found that the lamp actually does increase the visibility of the hero by a varying amount depending on like the time of day, and that actually like does affect the enemies and stuff being able to see you. Okay, you can kind of tell, like, Two Worlds can see just from that what the way I was going about it, and I'll need to show you that later too. There is a crash that can happen here if you are not careful, and also like severely unlucky. But those circles are the like biggest danger areas when you have Aeons and your stats are as high as they are. Because you're doing an absurd amount of damage. And these guys, like, they technically spawn in before the cutscene triggers. Or like I would need to like dig in Chocolate Box or something, but basically you can still have an active hitbox on your sword hovering over these stone circles, like within the stone circle here. And it can kill these guys as they're spawning in, and right as the cutscene is supposed to start, but the game just crashes because it doesn't know how to handle that. It's most common, and this is I've only had it happen, like, I think there's like 3 confirmed instances of it happening. 2, I think, for me. And I think Legitimacy had another one. but it could have been someone else. Also, I learned the hard way. If you can manage to pull off a good little sprint to the door over here, you actually don't want to be mashing A as quickly as you can, because I have had it happen where I interacted with the door before the autosave happened after completing the graveyard path. And so that meant that I didn't properly finish it, I guess. And properly finishing it and like giving no, that's not what it was. No, it didn't. I didn't give I don't know. Sorry. I don't know exactly what it is, but basically, I was able to enter underground chamber and still be in a world save quest state. So it's like I didn't get the prompt. I somehow didn't get the prompt when entering underground chamber for rescue Scarlet Robe. I didn't get that prompt. And then every room after was it had an autosave. So yeah, if you can, get to that door that quickly, don't mash A too much. Try and wait until after the autosave finishes. And the game is like, you can see the gameplay again. It's weird. I don't know. I don't think I got the trigger skip in this run. No. But yeah, there is a trigger skip that you can do in why was I trying to go for a swag clip there? Yeah, you need to like roll into this room in like a very specific angle or something. And then you can just somehow not trigger the undead and the barriers there. I don't know why I was trying to go for a swag clip there. I had zero reason to do that. Zero reason. Ooh, these whiffs. Those whiffs were just unfortunate. I guess the good thing about prison is that there really isn't that much to talk about. It's like, oh, prison. No, I do have a couple of things I can talk about. Because this quest actually has a couple of quick fades in it. Despite not having like load zones to work with. I think here I just do some assassin. No, I don't actually. Interesting. In other versions of the game, I'll usually spam Assassin Rush in the transition from that cutscene to the load screen.
Du calme, Tips, du calme. Gardez cette énergie pour plus tard. Vous en aurez besoin. N'essayez pas la magie, elle ne marchera pas ici. Le chef a pris ses précautions.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit and listen to Tibbs all night. Let's go ahead and skip to the bit that I actually do want to talk about. As soon as the guard, you know, comes in. So basically, I try to use a rough timing after I hear him finish his voice line here, to time my quick fade attempt. So I try to give it like 2.5-ish seconds. 0, 1000, 1, 1000, 2, 1000. Yeah. I was a little late in the actual run, and I think it was a buffered menu as well. Yep. So yeah, I pressed the start button a little bit late. Obviously.
Voici.
Okay, and I do have a little bit to talk about here as well, so... Oh, goodness. Oh, interesting. I know. Okay. Why is my spacebar not doing the thing that I want it to do? It's being dumb. Okay, but whatever. So let's try and go back a bit again. Please? Oh my god. I give up. Alright, so skip the cutscene. As soon as the screen's fully black, the cut, and then you're transitioning back into gameplay. You can get a free roll here and not increase the movement / sound meter. Yeah, just roll forward if you're not playing Fable Anniversary, in which case you want to roll, I think, with the D key, because the game's weird. And anyway, this isn't for Anniversary, this is for OG. And then apparently I must have been holding the right trigger or something, because it sounded like I was flipping through spell tiers over here in spell mode. Because those, like, tick tick ticks of the menu, like, HUD sounds were... That's not... They're not prone to skipping like that on original hardware. On 360, maybe, but not really on original hardware.
Génial!
And then here, that was definitely a quick fade. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I did not intend to do the hotshot thing with the stairs. There is theoretically like a little itty bitty super tiny time save that you could do by literally cutting a singular corner by being on that railing instead of over here. So you'd technically be saving like a smidgen of time. But like only Rehim is mad enough to go for that inner run, and I'm not on a good pace. Not for me, thanks. Not for me. Because if you don't do it right, you can fall off and go all the way back to the beginning of the beginning race point, basically. And it's just embarrassing. Okay, that was a good free roll. Okay, so something I actually just did there is very subtle. But it wasn't a failure to hold the left stick down fully or anything. It was actually intentional that I like quickly released it and then re-clicked it down. Because you know, you stealth walk slower than you normally walk, so I just did that to like jump myself forward a little bit more. It does increase the sound or movement meter or whatever, but it's worth it if you've got that free roll to go off of. Okay, so I preemptively put physical shield on, and I also put multi-arrow on. Because I'm actually going to be doing that in the Kraken fight. I don't bother doing anything with multi-strike. A, because I'm not really going to be using it. And B, because even if I were going to be using it, the cutscenes actually kill multi-strike in this version. So, again, I for another video entirely, I need to talk about that. Okay, so yeah, I have the bow equipped already, but if you didn't, if this were a run where I didn't equip the bow, like going into Rescue the Archaeologist like I did, I'd probably be throwing it on here. But yeah, basically we want to be able to. I actually handled that so fast, I was like, whoa. All right, so basically, as soon as you've secured a hard target on the first tentacle, and you've also held your shots back long enough, you want to try and get that one first, and then swap targets to another one, and then just keep, ideally, dispatching them thusly. And then reapply multi-arrow as soon as you can. And then also make sure that you've actually hit the, you know, next health threshold. Also, get rid of the other charges of multi-arrow and reapply it. Because you're going to be doing, I'm going to be doing the same thing with the next tentacle phase. And then I also say, at the end of the fight, I leave one charge of multi-arrow specifically for Jack. And then, yeah, another steel buffer into Barrow Fields. Shoutouts to the still dying Earth Troll, of course. Yeah, it was a quick fade. Oh yeah, the fact that it was a quest start done. That's what made the first part of that fade seem slower. Okay, and I think you can, yeah, what, I didn't get to really show it off here, but what I do in the background here, like you see the guild seal, the loading guild seal is like, it's like slowing down, and then it picks back up pace. What I was doing after that happened was I was trying to basically buffer inputs to move myself forward. But that unfortunately didn't pan out exactly as I had hoped. I guess I got a roll out of it, which I guess it works. An Assassin Rush would have been much preferred, but that's okay. Also, yeah, I didn't even bother putting my weapon away. That's kind of funny. It's just like, the first guard saw me, weapon out. Second guard sees me, weapon out. Just blaze past them. And then third guard sees me. You can tell because the bar just like goes zoop, zoop, zoop. They literally take so long to even come up to tell you to put that weapon away. That, yeah, it's just like, they give you a lot of advance warning, so you don't even really need to worry about being slowed down by it. Okay, so there was a bit of more, there was another little sprinkle of background inputs going on there. Like, so I locked, I did a hard lock. And I think during the autosave, I was actually mashing to roll left. Did I get potions here? I might not have. I may have gone like, no, 16 is actually enough. No. Okay. It's probably for the best. 16 probably is enough for me, but it's also like, I don't know. Because, yeah, this is before the maze fight, so, like, I'd have to be really good about my potion consumption in order to make 16 work, but I probably could. in all honesty.
Il faut qu'on parte d'ici. Elle est après nous.
Also, this is really good movement. But yeah, there's I'm not gonna get too commentary heavy on the maze fight because you know, I do still have the old video on it still. But yeah. I use Berserk. Okay, so here's the thing that I do. I do need to talk about this a little bit because most of the time in this fight, when I'm canceling Berserk or something like that, I want to go for like the fastest thing available and like oh god, my train of thought just got derailed. But yeah, I punched there instead of rolling to cancel Berserk because A, I think it's faster, and B, it doesn't, like... I guess I would be rolling into that gravestone right there. Because I think that's what KJ actually mentioned in his old any percent guide for TLC. But still, I'm facing Maze, and it's just a little bit easier. So I don't have to do anywhere near as much camera work. Or just, like, positioning. And then, yeah. Was that full? I think that was full. Yeah, I think that was full. Aeon's damage is just absurd. Okay, so I actually put my weapon away there. Because the easiest way I have found with a controller to knock Maze down to set up for a phase skip here is just a Berserk Punch. Because that's all you need to do. You just need to knock him down. And fumbling, like, through spell mode to get to Force Push and then back to Multi-Strike or whatever. No, I don't even do that. That is just... that's too much. But yeah, just Berserk Punch. Put the weapon away for a second, and then, yeah. Pretty easy. A lot less of a headache. Also, yeah. No, it's just like... I could force push him to, you know, trigger the cutscene a little faster, but... Again... Your spell mode positions and, like, everything, that's... Yeah. You want to be able to know where things are. And you want easy access to them if you can, you know, provide that for yourself. I think I just got used to having my spells actually being where they are, and that's just like, I need them to be there now. That's kind of an aside, but like, the defaults, I try to keep them, yeah. Also, completely didn't touch on that. You can zap Jack sometimes to trigger the cutscene just a little bit faster. Obviously, you can't have any other mobs in your way and stealing your soft target, but it does save a little bit of time. Like there, didn't have to go all the way across the bridge. Also, God, like, that load screen just then was so quick. And it's now consistently that quick, because like I still remember losing like Oh, I don't. It was an absurd amount of time just because the loading in this split in particular used to randomly take so long, and it made PBing on 360 so much more painful than it needed to be. And it's also not like you have very many opportunities for quick fades either. But yeah, the like actual loading, not even just the fades. That's the stuff that just like randomly took longer. But yeah. Yeah, so I actually roll into that corner there specifically as just kind of like my go-to unless I'm playing a map randomizer. Because, like, sometimes you can just walk into that area and you're just like, why isn't the cutscene triggering? Why isn't the cutscene triggering? Oh, there's the cutscene. And yeah, I've just found rolling into that corner there just to be the most consistent thing. Personally. Ooh, I forgot that was the best split. Okay, so that, yeah, you can just tell. Oh, you know, that reminds me actually. There should have been examples of what I was trying to talk about at the Gateway to Hook Coast. Like these background buffered movement inputs or whatever. So let's get into here, I think. So like that's a bit of a ways away from the barrier that you start in the screen. Yeah, that's at least an assassin rush away. If not two. And yeah, again, like I was timing that because you can tell like that one tiny little pause back there. And then the guild seal was spinning like normal again. That's when I started mashing the movement inputs. You don't really need to worry about that with the Hob Cave one because like it's just like that. But yeah, on the first one for each focus site, you can kind of mostly get some better movement to start off with. Yeah, so there, you start not on the bridge, I'm pretty sure. Anyway. And then, yeah, this was another example of buffered background inputs. And also me just, like, being dumb and walking into a map table. Final quick fade of the run! You might think, why do you rush on that bridge when you know it doesn't actually carry you far? Or, like, it doesn't carry you the whole distance, but, like... No, it actually does propel you just a little bit faster. A little bit further ahead. Okay, so the Jack fight. Did I? Oh my god, I got big shot in this too. Let's go. So, once I've dispatched the minions, I just needed to hit Jack, I think, 3 times. And then I wanted to force push him away from the middle. 1, to avoid him, like, singularly rushing into, the center and, like, I guess, forcing himself under the ground or something. But, like, he just disappears. And that is a problem in this particular route. If he were to do that, because it doesn't get in flame. So I would, you would have to actually reload the save, the autosave, and try to beat Jack again. And not have him do that. But the way you can have him not do that, seemingly, is to just force push him before you get to that phase transition. And then Big Shot. Boy, howdy, do I love Big Shot. So, like, I think it is literally frame perfect. So this is 1 frame, that's 2 frames. Yes, you have, it looks like either a 1 or 2 frame window to have your X input be accepted and to pull off Big Shot, but yeah. Oh, that's always so satisfying to see and like pull off. And look at because of the controller targeting system too. This is where I will actually praise it in comparison to TLC's camera-based soft target system, because the controller targeting system is it's dependent on what the hero is physically facing towards. And because Jack is literally right there, here he is, the absolute lad, already aiming the bow at Jack. So you can just release it as soon as the cutscene ends. Because, fun fact, if you release it during the cutscene, you don't deal any damage, and it is sad. Also, I had eventually started taking to killing Teresa instead of destroying the sword, even though it's like, the option to destroy the sword, toss it into the vortex, that dialogue box can come up at a random time, whereas like killing Teresa is consistent. So it's just like, I would rather err on the side of caution at the last second, you know? That's just me though. But yeah.